Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope everyone in your family is healthy and happy. Well, I'm making some great sourdough starter bread. Take a look at that. It's so moist and tender and flavorful, and it's so easy when you make it in a bread machine. Let me show you how to do it. Now, the most important part for this kind of bread is to have sourdough starter. If you don't have that, you'll need to make some, and there's a lot of videos online to show you how to make sourdough starter. But this is what it looks like when it's nice and healthy and really growing and very flavorful. I've had this one for 3 years, and it makes great bread. Let me show you how to do it in the bread machine, though, because that's what's different. You want to put a cup and a third of water in your bread machine. And then you get that sourdough. I'm going to measure it out so you know exactly how much I'm using. Now, normally sourdough is a rising agent, but we're not really using it that way in this bread. We're using it more as a flavoring agent. And so we're going to put that wonderful sourdough in, and you can see how thick it is. And this is what makes it kind of challenging, because sourdough like this starter dough, can have different levels of moisture or water content. I'm putting 260 grams of starter in the 1 1/3 cup of water, and we're going to stir it up and kind of get it dissolved. Once again, we're using this as a flavoring agent in the bread and not a rising agent. So to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of powdered milk and 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. And then the flour. This is just regular all-purpose flour. Now, if you don't have powdered milk, you can use regular milk. It'll work just fine. And we're going to put in 4 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 4 1/4 cups. Now, we're going to have to adjust this because depending upon your sourdough, your moisture level may be too high or too low, but this is just a starting place. So we have 4 1/4 cups, and I'm going to put a little pocket here because we're going to put some regular bread machine yeast. Now, this is made specifically for a bread machine. Now, you can use regular yeast, but you'll have to consult your bread machine manual to see what settings to use. I'm just using 2 1/2 teaspoons of bread machine yeast, and this will work just fine to make a beautiful loaf. One final thing, and that's 3 tablespoons of butter. And we'll divide this into 4 parts, and we'll put 1 section in each of the 4 corners of the bread pan. Now, this is a 2-pound loaf, so if your bread machine is smaller, you'll need to adjust the quantities to fit your bread machine. So we just pop it into the machine, and we're going to plug it in and then turn it on, and I'm setting it for just the regular loaf setting, nothing special. Just push start, and once it begins to mix initially, we check it, and I look at it, and it looks just a little bit dry. So I'm going to add about 1/4 cup more water. And you might not need to do this. A lot of it depends upon how much moisture is in your sourdough starter. And we'll let the machine knead for a few minutes and then check it again. And you can see it's a little bit more pliable. I'm looking at the exterior, and that looks just about right. And so after a couple more minutes of kneading, it looks nice and smooth, and that's perfect. And so we let it bake, and after the time is up, this is what we have, a beautiful loaf. Now, I could have adjusted the crust to have a darker crust if you like it that way, but this is just a medium crust. And so let's slice this open. I've let the bread cool for about 30 minutes. You need to do that before you slice it. And there we have it, some wonderful sourdough starter sandwich bread. It's flavored with the sourdough. I realize it's not true sourdough, but it tastes wonderful, and it's easy to make. It's about as easy as you can make it if you have some sourdough starter. Now, if you don't feel like making your own starter, ask around among your friends, and there's probably someone that has some sourdough starter, and they'll be glad to share it with you. Take a look at that. It doesn't get any fresher, and it tastes so good with that sourdough flavoring. Mmm. I hope you give this a try. It's really delicious and really easy. Hey, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.